God, hyper professional. Oh God, now I wanna maybe my eye can hear me. All right, so we are here to entertain you and give you a show once a month. There, now I don't hear myself anymore. Sorry, that was super fucking distracting. So we're going to come once a month and talk about some kinky shit with you creepy fuckers.
Extremely creepy. But at least they don't sound all empty now and in the void. So
Yeah,
much void.
you can hear.
I can hear. Or at least the little bar down the bottom is making the ups and downs. Up and down all the time. Yeah, so I had this idea a while back to do a show, something different. And I realized that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on a lot of different subjects, a lot of which coming from their own personal experiences, and a lot of which not,
Right.
but they still want to have an opinion on. um, on things related to, say, relationships, sex, kinks, weird, as well as like just weird ass
And nasty.
stories we'll pick up. Extremely nasty. Also,
Going
I can still hear myself,
toast to
but
Jesus.
I could still hear me. By the way, I can still hear
We'll
me in the
fix it.
background.
It's not
Yeah,
on me. We'll fix
it is. I can hear it in your echo. See, this is why we have shows prior, but you wanted to wait until last minute to add to that spiciness. Well, it's our first episode. We have to.
What
We
can I
have to.
say? I like to keep you on your toes.
Fucking hell, right? That's for sure. Um, so, oh god, that's gonna drive me crazy. I can hear just the end of what I'm saying every time you speak because it's coming out of your head. Do you have your headphones on? Well, there you go. I can hear it out of your mic. I can hear it. Your mic's picking me up.
Hang on. I'll fix that.
All right. Well, I'll try my best to ignore it while she's getting it ready. Um, so yeah, this is gonna be once a month. We already have an idea for next month, but we're open to suggestions and we're open to guests as well. Next month, in fact, Janie Bell says she's going to be on to talk about internet dating. We yours truly, who internet dating can I can attest is it's not fun, except when it is, and then it keeps driving you back. It's kind of like the lottery, you know. It's kind of like a scratch card. You just win just enough to keep you playing. Um, but yeah, we tonight I thought we'd start with the most obvious one. We'd start with well, we'd start with our first times.
Using your V card, y'all.
Yo, the cherry's broke. We all need to get our cherry broke at some point. No, we don't actually. Plenty of people are very happy
That's so
not to.
crazy because girls can literally, like, you can pop your cherry riding a bike.
Riding a horse, bouncing
Oh.
up and
Pop your
down,
cherry fucking fingering yourself. Um,
putting putting a tampon in too hard. Doesn't that also occasionally do it?
I don't think if you have if you've never had sex before, usually you don't start wearing tampons until after you've already started putting things inside your vagina. Like, if that makes sense.
Is that
There's
and that makes sense.
some girls get, like, I got my first period, and this is not where I wanted this show to go, but I was like third grade, something like that. So obviously I'm not like I'm fucking 10. I'm not sticking tampons inside me. So you start off with pads, and then once you figure out that, like, you can stick stuff up there and it's nice, then you're like, oh, a tampon isn't that scary. because you literally don't feel it. It just kind of like floats in there.
It's kind of suspended in like an anti gravity field.
Basically. As
Um,
long as you put it in the right way. You can put it in sideways and then fuck it over its like that.
oh. Um,
Just for all of you who didn't know how tampons work. You're welcome.
I just realized it's less than 10 minutes in, and we've had two period based stories. Um, one more, and we
Keep
get a
wanting
free
to talk
Coke.
about this.
Um, I honestly I want to preface this going forward. As you can guess, most things are going to be off on the table. So we're going to get explicit. We're going to get crazy. We're going to get wild, and
Kinky.
we're going to get very kinky. To that end, Missy, when did you lose your virginity?
I was 12.
Jesus.
I was
Uh,
12.
and your partner's age was.
He was 16.
Uh,
Yeah, it's definitely probably like
little
some
bit
sort of
a little bit
illegal minor
problematic.
activity
Yeah.
going on. But um, I think most people could probably figure out that I didn't look like your average 12-year-old. And I definitely wasn't telling people that I was 12 because I knew I didn't look like your average 12-year-old. So when I said I was 15, people believed it. And I was camping. All right. So um, my family every summer we would rent out a campsite on a campground for like the whole summer, and we would leave like the camper and everything up there, and we would come home so that my parents could go to work during the week, and then on the weekends we would spend it up at the campground. So you get to know all the families and stuff that also do that every summer. And there were um this family that was on the other side of the campground, and they had twin 16-year-old boys, and me and my sister, who is 9 months and 16 days younger than I am. um we were just infatuated with them, and I started talking with one of them, and doing that thing where you're dating but you're not really dating because you only see each other you know on the weekends at the campground with your family. And we snuck out of our tents one night, and um, whereas it was quite romantic and under the moonlight. But he did try to stick it in my belly button, so I'm pretty sure that it was his first time as well.
Oh, even by 60, I mean, there's the
I didn't mean
American
like
education system right there.
right, like he was trying to put it in my belly button, and like at 12 years old, like even I knew that's not where that goes. Like, go
No,
down
no,
a
that's
little
just
further.
that's my clitoris, but you have to go a little bit further down.
So, and then, one thing led to another, and I lost my virginity under the stars in a campground when I was 12 years old.
Everything but the 12-year-old part is almost romantic, you know?
Almost, except in the belly button part. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you like it was obviously I'm guessing completely at the time for you anyway consensual, like you thought like,
Oh,
"Oh yeah,
yeah,
I want to do this."
obviously. Like, I'm definitely snuck out of the tent, like, because we were going to meet up and fuck that night. Like, that was the plan.
And
So,
you knew that it was like like you actually had those feelings cuz like 12, let's be honest here, is
yeah,
pretty young to be wanting to fuck around. Maybe it's
absolutely.
maybe like at that age I would have been like, ooh, boobies, what are those things? Ooh, squishy. But like I don't
No,
think
I,
yeah, I wasn't like going, hey, I want to reverse pile drive someone, you know.
yeah, I have been well endowed, right? I've been with these girls here. Um, I want to say since this. second grade. That's when I like started developing. So I've always been viewed and spoken to and treated as like more adult and in sexual context
Yeah.
much younger than like what most female children go through because of them. So I think that's why everything kind of progressed a little quickly for me. Or
Uh,
maybe I was like traumatized as a 4-year-old and I like hid it and this is how I dealt with it. I don't fucking know.
yeah.
I just know I lost my virginity when I was 12.
I suppose, did it feel good? Like, did it at all feel good? Because, like,
Obviously, I did it again. I
no, I
didn't
mean, like,
stop doing it. I was like, well, nope, that's not for me.
obviously, obviously, you went back for round
Does
two,
it
either with the
feel
same
good?
person
Does
or, but
it
like,
feel good when you make yourself nut?
no. Well, actually, no, don't. The
No, it doesn't feel
experience.
good when. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, I think you misheard me, Christ. That experience, was it
Yes,
at
it
the
was a nice
time? Yeah, it was.
experience. I
Because
wasn't traumatized by the
well,
experience.
it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. Like the amount of people who like have really bad first times. Like,
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't a
yeah,
bad first time. The belly
that's what I
button
was
thing
trying to
threw me
say.
off.
Yeah, that was weird. But I mean,
The belly button thing threw me off, but no, it was a good time.
all right. Um,
It was weird running into the dude like, oh God, it had to have been like at least 15 years later because I was like mid 20s at that point.
hmm,
And um, it was at a completely different campground, surprisingly. And obviously in my state. And he was like working there. And I saw the name and I was like, for real? And then I just was like, you don't happen to have a twin brother. And he was like, yeah. And I told him who I was. And he was like, holy fucking shit. And
damn.
that was a little weird and awkward. Because I think by then we both realized like he might have had like predatory tendencies if he's with a 12-year-old at 16.
A little slight. Did you ask him like
Mm.
did you like go back here for round two or some shit like that?
Yeah. Oh, I just like
Is this
kind
your
of was
new
like,
usual
so
hunting hunt? So this
yeah,
is what your
you're
hunting
working at
grounds, is
the
it?
campground. Like, nice to see you. You didn't, you stayed true to yourself. Didn't go outside the box there.
Yeah, like he nestled into a nice little place where there's no
Yeah.
cops for miles around.
He didn't evolve at all and just stayed at the campground or in camp. It creeps me out now that I think about it. Like,
Yes, it's really it's a
what
kind
if
of a
he's like
creepy.
campground predator, right? Going
Oh
around
shit!
preying on all the
You know the way
females
some
in the campground.
bars have like
I'm gonna have to look in to see if there's like a serial killer killing the campgrounds
the
in Connecticut,
the moonlight slasher, you know.
right? Oh God, what if I like started a serial killer?
You were the
I was
only one
like,
that gave in, and then he expected the next one too, and then she's like, "No, I'm 12," and
right,
then he's like,
I,
everything goes
I
red,
created a
and
serial killer.
yeah. Oh well, at least you're not his mother, like most serial killers. Um, like it is. Let's be honest here. The age is the major factor there. For him too, he was too. I know like 16 is for a lot of people, and you could almost say isn't that kind of arbitrary? No, it's not really. For 16, that's too really young for him doing that as well. But for you, so much like you um, like afterwards, when you like were driving back, or you're telling your friends, what was like the major reaction from them? Were they like, "Oh wow," or did they not believe you, or they went like,
A couple of
"Okay,
them
are
were,
you gonna?"
oh wow. A couple of them were like, no, you didn't. And I think there was only one person
Who pointed
who
out that it
like
was
had
kind
an
of
issue with the fact that like you're kind of young, you know.
yeah. Well, look, the thing is, like, we don't get
But I've never like I'm not known for my great decision making, guys.
You're doing this show for one thing.
Like talking about me here.
Oh well.
Decision making is in my strong suit.
Um. Well, I suppose it's only right. You showed me yours. I'll show you mine. Um. It was in the States. I was 17. I had lied and said I
Ooh.
was 18. Um. I had gone over
See,
to
what is it with people lying about their age when it comes to having sex?
because there's a degree of us. There's a degree of intelligence that are like, if you honestly say your
Like
age, they're not going to be as in. Yeah.
we all know we were doing this too young, so we all have to lie about it. How
In a
many people in the
way,
chat lied about your age when it was the first time that you had sex?
yeah. It's because I also want to, whenever, of course, they're feeling comfortable, for the chat to engage as well. Also, if you're wondering, no, the chat's not going to be up on the screen for these ones. It would be opening up too many cans of worms.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's not
I
good
can see you
quality art.
guys.
Curious.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, like if anyone wants to share, and obviously like when if and of course there might be some virgins in the chat, which is fine as well. We'll talk about that. But as for me, I was 17, saying I was 18, and I was over there visiting some friends, and I basically said that like, oh, I'd love to meet a girl, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'd go and see a movie with her or something like that. And instead, they introduced me to a woman who was not a majorly difference of age. She was about maybe 23 at the time. So I suppose that is a huge
You're
difference in age.
23 and 17. You're a minor.
Well, at 18. Remember, she didn't know. Uh, but even still, you can definitely see like the position.
So,
It
at
still is still.
23, if an 18-year-old came up to me at 23 and was like, like trying to hit on me and wanted, to do like, no, you're a baby.
Um, I have
What
to
is with
admit.
predators?
Oh,
We
she.
both had our first time with predators. Holy shit.
I don't
Are we
like the way that
bonding over trauma?
I don't like the way this conversation's going. Stop
We're
making me
bonding
feel
over
feelings.
trauma.
Stop making me feel feelings. Oh, this is why I drink, isn't it? No, mommy, stop. Stop putting me in the closet, mommy. I don't want to wear the dress anymore, mommy. But no, no. If she was if she was a fucking predator, which I don't think. I honestly, actually,
No, I don't think
I
she
don't
was
think.
either.
But she clearly liked the way I looked, and she liked the
Right.
Irishness, which has always been a factor with me and American women.
The
They
accent
fetishize
usually
me,
does thing. Yeah. It's the
and
accent.
I'm at peace with it. But I'm also not an idiot to not know even back then, if I wasn't Irish, I wouldn't have been getting any of that. And she was hot, and I liked the look of her, and I was a horny teenage boy who wanted to fuck. So I did. And it was,
Teenage who doesn't.
yeah, and it was an absolute fucking disaster. Oh my god, it was the worst experience for years of my life. And for her, because
Oh
we met up
no.
years later, oh yeah, I had lied through my teeth about my experience. Not only was I not a virgin, I had only the year prior made out for the first time. So I had no idea what to do with anything at all. And oh my god, I was so bad. But here's the thing. I was also aware of it, so I decided to just do whatever came to mind. I thought of all the porns I did, so I I went down on her, no problem there. I made out with her a lot. I spanked that ass. I ate that ass for my first time without even really knowing what the fuck I was doing.
Well, good on you
Um,
for being brave.
exactly, because
Bravo.
when the time for the main event, I just didn't really know what else to do other than going pap, 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 slamming away at it, slamming away. And it just kept on happening, and nothing ever came out of it. Literally. Let's just say I left one in the chamber, and I felt more and more self-conscious of the fact, and eventually she started to get a bit, probably haggard, to say the least, having, having this fucking jackhammer just on top of her for like ages without any sort of
Sure.
response. So eventually we changed positions, took it into the bathroom, and eventually just declared
This guy is
defeat.
unfucking believable.
And
Having part of the beard
PC.
at 15 was an interesting time. People thought I was 18 plus lol.
No.
PT Ham, thank you, topping up the pint glass. Having part of the beard at 15 was an interesting time. People thought I was 18 plus. There you go.
Awesome.
Oh, and on the topic of money, same rule with Krendar. I divide it. I divide it that way. So, Missy, you just got a little bit of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
The whole night was an absolute disaster, and at the end of it, she didn't even sleep next to me. She slept on the sofa, and the next morning she was
Why?
gone, and I put it out of my mind. I had a very cool trip out of the rest of it, and then I found out through the mutual friends that we had that she was telling people that that was like the worst night of her life, the worst night of her life.
Ah.
And I felt miserable about it, so I realized, okay, going forward, I have to kind of brush up on what the hell to do, and maybe I worked myself up so badly that I ended up not being able to come myself, so I had to kind of chill a little bit, not be so tense, not be so in my own head. I am an Aspie after all, so I kind of went into my own little mind. But we met up years later, and she had no idea it was a terrible night for me, too.
Ah.
So, we kind of had this moment of being like, oh my god, you're not such a bad person after all, are you? Aw.
Did
So
you
we
tell
kinda...
her, like, by the way, like, you took my virginity?
Oh, she already knew that
I'm
part.
sure.
No, she didn't
Really?
actually, my
She
bad.
knew?
No, actually, she didn't know that part. She knew I was very inexperienced.
Okay. Because I
But she
feel
didn't
like
know I was...
for a girl, I think that a dude coming to you and wanting to lose his virginity with you, and you, one, obviously being interested in that, and two, being more experienced, like, I would treat that as like that's almost like an honor. Like, let me, like, come, grasshopper. Let me show you the things I know.
I
You
was
know, like,
trying to come, it just didn't work. No. Like she already had been like married at this point. She had just left her first husband,
right.
and she
So
had a kid and
even
everything.
knowing
Like so,
how inexperienced that you were, I feel like she should have like taken the opportunity to have a teaching moment.
looking back at it, I wouldn't have said no. I wouldn't have been like, oh God, now I feel like less of a man. No, I was barely a man anyway.
Right.
And it took me until round two with somebody to actually go like, okay, I can take my time, I can chill, I can relax. But the thing
I think
is,
everyone's first couple times awkward.
but here's the wrinkle of the whole thing. She figured out from the dirty talk I was saying of her that she was a sub, and I realized I wasn't a halfway bad dom. So I followed that path, and well, here we are. Like I learned a lot about myself on
Surprising.
that trip. Oh, it's the little things, even in
Surprising things you
even in
learn.
defeat. Yeah, even in defeat. Um, but I for years, like, I could not get over just how absolutely disaster. Even now, I'm getting like my toes are
Are you
curling.
cringing?
Yeah, I'm cringing a bit. I
Oh god.
remember she tried. She did. She might not have tried as much as maybe she could have, but I mean, she did all the standard stuff
Gave
that
it
you
the good
would.
old
Yeah, she gave it the good old college try.
college try.
I gave it the good old overwhelming fire approach.
You gave it the I'm a virgin approach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything can be solved
that's
with
what you
more
get.
power. Well, I am a power top, so there you have it.
I've never tried to stick it in someone's belly button, so I have that going for me. You know, I was the one whose belly button was trying to get assaulted, but you know,
I mean, if you got like a
that's on him. He
if
tried
he
to put it in my belly button. I told him that's not where it goes.
you ever have like a situation where you did something in bed, then afterwards you were like, oh god, I fucked that up really bad.
I had a dude try to fuck my elbow.
No, again, first of all, what the fuck? Second of all, literally, how does that even? How do you even do
He
that?
wants to put it in the crook of your elbow,
Oh yeah.
close your arm, and fuck your elbow.
Looks like I'm trying to saw my own arm off doing this. Um,
Whatever, dude.
yeah,
Whatever gets you off.
I,
If that's
I,
what you want.
yeah, oh hell, I'd take that over feet, I guess. Ugh.
I've
Um,
never had a dude ask me to
foot
like
job.
jerk him with my feet. I have little cute little feet too, but I guess I've just never been with a foot dude,
That's actually a thing.
which I'm not unhappy about. I don't like feet. I'm not a
Yeah,
foot
yeah.
person.
I mean, if there's anyone in the
But
chat who prefers the company of feet to say anything other
the
else,
amount of the amount of like foot fetish bullshit that's out online, I thought that I would have been requested to jerk someone off with my feet more than I have
mm,
because I've never been requested to
I
do
think
so.
it's mostly memes, and then in those memes are the few legit foot fetish people who are like, "Isn't that funny? Wouldn't it be crazy if there was a website? Oh yeah, there's Wiki Feet.
I remember back in
Where?
MySpace, there was a dude who he wanted pictures of my feet.
Really?
He said I had a nice arch. So I
Oh.
remember back like right when Instagram was first coming around and MySpace was dying off and all like no, I don't even think MySpace was. I think this was right when Instagram started. As I'm trying to remember how like we communicated, and I can't remember if it was Instagram or AOL Messenger. So I'm very much dating myself right now. But I remember he liked getting pictures of my feet, so I started making him pay me for it if he wanted that many of them. And he said I had nice arches, but that's as close to someone wanting to fuck my feet as I've got.
I don't see the appeal other than the fact I suppose I want women with feet. I mean, like, then again, like I could run across a woman who has like they had them taken off in an accident or something, and she could be of great personality and have like other great qualities about her, and I could be like, oh well, feet aren't as important. But no, I do. I suppose I want to at least have a partner who can walk. That's kind of. But even then, no, actually, hold on, because wheelchairs. But even then, she'd still have feet. It
Yeah, do
just
you want little nubs? Like, would you want nubs in the air? You got her on her
little
back. You got her
spheres.
fucking right. You just got nubs. Like, think about it. Come on
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't want to fuck them. Like, I guess like the whole thing like
now. I think it's
with
just aesthetically.
shoes. Yeah. Um. Here's something like, um. Obviously, like losing your virginity, the most obvious one is, of course, good old fashioned sex. But like, there's tons of other virginities too. Like, you ever let's see. What was some of the major other virginities that you popped over your life that you want to share with the class?
I mean, I've never done butt stuff. but everyone knows
Oh,
that about me.
really?
I talked about it on the wood. Yeah, I've talked about it on the wood plenty. Because I, obviously losing my virginity at such a young age, and everyone knows that I'm a single mom. So, like, I already have kids. And I figured that I need something of mine that is special and only one person can have to give to the man that decides he wants to marry me.
Oh.
So I'm saving I'm saving my butt for marriage.
You should say it with a little bit more of a San Francisco accent from like a dude.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, just give me
How do you
a
sound
campy a campy Sex in the City gay guy voice. I'm saving my butt for marriage.
Oh, you're on to those. I can't do that. I'm not a gay dude.
Um,
I don't know how
I
to sound.
suppose.
I literally make a mockery. People would think that I'm like making fun of.
Oh. Um, what was it? I've never. All right, no, I have had a surprise thumb from a partner that I did not consent to. She wanted to see what I like it, and she knew if she asked I wouldn't be interested, so it said. But the thing is, it was as much as the shock as it was the lack of interest. Because she was right, I wasn't interested, and I was saving her hassle. Like no one wants what I'm sitting on. No one wants that. Maybe a little playful spank on the cheeks, but I mean, an ass is more than just the cheeks. It's what's inside the cheeks that matters. And trust me, you don't want what matters in with that matter. Let me tell you that.
No.
Especially if we come back from, say, Indian food.
Ole.
Mexican over in the States, same principle.
Exactly.
So,
Speaking
like,
of, stay away from the new crispy chicken chipotle taco from Taco Bell, because that shit gives you food poisoning. I know.
goes right through you. Oof.
I was puking for 28 hours straight. Couldn't even hold
Oh.
water down. I was
Oh, I
like,
think.
this
Oh,
is
yeah, I
good.
saw the tweets. I didn't know the context of it.
Hmm.
Um,
That is from bad Taco Bell. Not that there is ever any good Taco Bell,
I was
but
going to say.
bad Taco Bell.
Let me think. Have you ever been with a girl?
So bye. Everybody knows that.
Oh, oh God, yeah, my bad. But like, when did you like first go down that path?
Um, there was a girl in high school that I was friends with, and me and her kind of had like a thing for each other, and we figured it out in the eighth grade when we took um a field trip to Washington, D.C. for like a four day overnight field trip with the entire eighth grade, and we got to stay in like hotel rooms. And um me and her were kind of like the goth metal kids that shopped at Hot Topic in the like early 2000s. So like the big Django jeans and the chains and the spiked collars and like the black
I know.
eyeliner. So
Yeah, I know the type.
but it was just me and her, like in a little cow town where everyone was like super preppy. So nobody wanted to room with us. And they stuck us with this one chick who's like super weird and thought like she got hopped up on caffeine and thought that she was a bat in the middle of the night and started like on the bed and like throwing herself into the wall. And
Okay.
right, me and Heather just locked ourselves into, the little bathroom and we stayed away.
Okay.
And is obviously her name is not Heather. I'm changing names for protecting people's identities, you know.
All
But
right. I was thinking like, okay, well that rule didn't last long, did it?
no, no, no. I named it. I
um,
don't I don't know any Heathers, so I figured it's a good name.
I don't think I know any Heathers either. I
You'd
don't
think
know.
it'd be a more popular name, but I don't know any Heathers.
I've met
But
Heathers, but like I don't know any Heathers.
no, I haven't like. I think maybe in high school there might have been one like in a grade or two above me, but like
Yeah,
I
like
don't know any Heathers. Anyways, so that's
Yeah.
when we like figured it out, and then when I was, I don't know, like probably 18 or so, I was in a polyamorous relationship for about 10 months.
Oh.
So me and two girls, or me and a girl and a dude, basically. So two girls and a guy.
The superior pairing.
Yeah, like the polyamorous relationship that everybody wants.
The polycule. It took me only it took me years to actually have a three-way, and afterwards I won't shut the fuck up about it because I feel like $1,000,000 to this day. Like I almost feel like that lonely what was it, Lonely Island, the one like I just had sex, I just had sex.
I think
Um,
so.
uh, but I've never been with a dude before, and I don't want to. I'm very happily straight. Like I'm very happily
I've had
hetero
both kinds of threesomes. I've had the threesomes where
with
it's
the guys and the
two
girls.
girls and a dude, and I've had threesomes where it's me
Oh
and two dudes.
no. Oh, I gotta clarify. I've never been with a cis dude, but I have been with a trans man. Uh, so technically, which I do 100% believe that he is indeed a man, just not physically a man, then
Okay.
yeah, technically I have been with a dude. But I have made out with a
Okay.
cis dude at
How'd
a
you
pub.
that go for you? Did you like it?
No, I'll give you the story. So I was with this girl at the time, and this was in Dublin. I must have been about 20. I'm gonna say 22, 23, maybe 24 at the most. And I had been dating with her for some time, and she was wild in the bedroom. Probably the best sex I've ever had in my life. And
Okay.
oh god, yeah, yeah. That was not why we broke up. If anything, I was probably way too vanilla in some respects for her.
Mm.
And she had a friend who she loved getting shit faced with and making out. As you tend to do in your 20s, like just go, oh yeah,
Yeah.
come here. And she was dating someone at the time, so we went out on a double date in this big rock goth
Right.
bar. And during the night, she goes, her friend turns to us and goes, if you two make out, we'll make out. And we're like, okay,
Right.
make out. So they made out, and then we looked at each other and went, oh,
Oh, they
fuck it.
called your bluff.
Yep, we did it.
You're like, fuck.
And it it hit different, but not in a good way.
Did you make out with the tongue or without?
I don't, I wouldn't,
Because it makes all the difference.
oh no, I with the tongue. We went full. I mean, that's not a
Ah,
big,
you guys
that's not as much of a big thing over
went
here.
all in.
Oh yeah, it's not a big thing over here. We just call that snogging. We just snogged each other, and it was not
Why do you
nice
guys call it noggin?
because
Where
it's
did
kind
the
of like your
snog
nose,
come from?
kind of like your nose, kind of rubs up against each other, so snog, Um,
You guys couldn't think of something that sounded a bit nicer.
well, if you
It
think
just
that's
sounds
bad, out here in the countryside, it's called pigging. I've never understood that, but out here in like the really rural parts of Ireland, it's called pigging.
You guys need to lay off the fucking boobs, okay?
Are you kidding me? How
That's
I'd
something
never be
that's
able to get
not. You
laid
guys are
again if I
saying
went to the
that.
States. If I went to States sober, all right, I'd never be able to get laid again. Be able to go to the Middle East and get laid, but that's something else
You
entirely.
guys need to start drinking something else then, because the names that you are coming up with are
Hold on,
just
that's
saying.
actually a good question. Let's find out what it's all about. Let's see. Snogging meaning kissing and cuddling amorously. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
basic.
where does it come from? Where is like the
Yeah, let's
root
find out.
origin of snogging?
Snog,
When
kiss
did
and cuddle.
snogging?
Why is kissing called
When did that?
snogging? Verb of
Yeah,
snog
why?
is British slang for kiss, cuddle, or make out. Word is more common than American English as well. Casual. The word has been around since 1945. Its origin is unknown. Ooh.
Oh, so people just seek, I wonder who invented the snow.
Let's see if Urban Dictionary. Oh, that's Cambridge Dictionary. Ooh, fancy. Um,
All the way in Cambridge Dictionary?
Yeah.
That's for real.
Oh God, yeah.
It's big leagues. That's the big
Uh,
leagues, folks.
damn right. Fuck you, Oxford. You got nothing. Um, snog meaning. Snog meaning. Let's see. Snog or origin of word. Is snog a real word? What does snog mean? Snog British expression. YouTube. Maybe this might have an answer. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and check the links down below for the Discord, Twitter, Streamlabs, and me coughing because the coffee went down the wrong throat.
Good job.
Yeah. There's something else I've never done before. I've never sucked, so I'm terrible. My gag reflexes isn't quite there yet.
You can work on that.
Please.
I have no gag reflex. I have been told I have a gift from God. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
The last person I was with said the same thing, and I put them to the test by basically just lonking their head right down and seeing how long they could hold it. And you know what? Mm-hmm. Fair play. It was a lot longer than I expected. Eventually, I was like, but guess what? When I moved my hand away, they were like, keep going. Like they wanted me to keep going down. Like pushing down. I was like, all right, fair enough. You glutton for punishment.
Some girls need they can't do it unless it's being forced.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like they can't go down that deep on their own. They need the extra help.
Loud.
A British English expression.
What the fuck is this nightmare man here? Like, the most unattractive art style.
Snog.
Oh my.
To snog or snogging is a very informal term that describes the act of kissing passionately.
Unlike this dialogue read.
The newly married couple were often seen snogging in public.
That is not a snog. Get a little closer. Go on. Put your hand. Oh God, there was rules. There was rules in school. You couldn't
rules
have
of snogging?
Yeah, you had to hold the girl's arse while doing it. And it had to be done, especially for your first time, you needed to have like someone next to you to vouch. Yeah.
Witness or it didn't happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. This was before like you could take pictures and shit. What about actually there's another one.
There were people lying about it often enough where you needed proof.
100% proof, and then the proof had to be a little bit. God, this is bringing up the old woodwork. There had to be not just proof, but the person had to be arbitrary enough. Because if they were a friend, they might lie for you.
Oh my God.
Oh, there was politics at play.
People were making up the fact that they kissed somebody so often that rules had to be set in place to prove that you kissed.
I always thought that it was an actual written rule book written somewhere. It sounds like the start of like a terrible early 2000s direct to like video young adults sort of like, we have to find the book of snogging.
The adults got the rule book. The adults got the rule book.
They'll find out what a blumpkin is, man. And then the mid credit roll is that one of the characters goes back and goes into his bathroom and his parents are doing a blumpkin there on the toilet. Oh God! And fucking has to be Smash Mouth playing. I
had Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh God. Anyway, when did you have your first kiss? When did you make out for the first time, if you can remember? Like proper, not just like peck on the cheek or anything like that.
I think I was in the 5th grade, 5th or 6th grade. No, 7th grade. That's where it was. Yep, because it was a kid in the. He went to the next town over. He went to school with my sister, and that's how I met him. And we would um both put our rollerblades on, and we would skate over to the elementary school that was like halfway between both our houses, and we would make out in the little like castle wooden playground thing
Oh,
with our rollerblades on.
um,
Very, very skaterish. Like,
very skaterish. I was I was 12 when I made out when I snogged for the first time with a girl who was a few roads up from me in my housing estate, and we went over to a friend's house, which I'm surprised they allowed it to pass, but I guess they just all assumed because we were all three really close that she was like making out with one of them, more of them, and we just did that there in the oh, what do you call it? The shed. Like he had this. His dad had made him a shed in the back garden that was like full of like it was like a sort of a clubhouse sort of thing. And it
the
was just
treehouse thingy.
yeah, but it was like an actual like work shed that had been converted for
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah, that was
I
very
remember
common back in the 90s.
this kid tried to make out with me in the 3rd grade, but I didn't know like what to do.
Oh,
'Cause I was in the 3rd grade, and our
you knew
dads
your
were like
belly button
friends with
wasn't
each
involved.
other. Yeah. He would sit behind me in class, and he would like make his foot go up like my leg from like behind, like almost trying to like play footsies with me. And our dads were friends with each other, so we would always hang out with each other anyways. And I remember we were sitting up in the backyard of my parents' house, which has like this big hill and a whole bunch of cherry trees and walnut trees and grapevines. So like the adults can't see anything that goes on up there. And I remember he like leaned in and licked my lips because I like pursed my lips closed because I'm the third. I don't know what the fuck to do. And he like licked me.
Huh.
I thought we were boyfriend and girlfriend after that.
Oh. That's cute if it wasn't so. It's adorkable. Aw.
It
Um,
is. I've
I
never said I wasn't completely dork.
have you ever had like a first time that wasn't awkward in some way? Because that's
Um,
like where it was actually like, ooh, because
no.
when I
I think everything in my life has been awkward.
hell, I was my three way. It was I was at the sports bar, and if I remember right, the fucking Grammys were
No,
playing.
my
Oh, that
first
was
three-way
crazy.
wasn't awkward.
Oh,
That
there you go.
was,
There's
I
one.
mean, no, okay, wait. I take that back. It was kind of awkward because I didn't know what was going to happen. She was just in the car, and then we just went to the hotel room, and then I was just given a bunch of e-pills, and then
Oh,
it just happened.
yeah.
So, like, it was a bit awkward because I didn't realize what was going on. And
I
then later
suppose.
on, I found out that those two had been like messing around without me.
Mm,
Like, that's why he had convinced her to like, oh, let's bring Missy in.
all right.
Because I thought this was like my actual boyfriend.
Oh,
Turns out he was sleeping with 9 other women.
Jesus. That's how does he have enough time in
9.
the day? Jesus.
He was a drug dealer.
Oh well, I suppose perk of the job, I guess. Um, my story is kind of awkward too because I was not expecting it. I've mentioned it before. It was when I was remember my trip across America that went nowhere.
Hmm.
I was up in Canada on that one. I just left Marshall and Faith up there in Buffalo, and I was
Yep.
up in Toronto, and it was the first night there. Just got there, and the bar downstairs in the hotel we were at was packed, but it was getting quiet. They closed up pretty early.
Yeah.
But there was this German, all these German kids. They were like 19, 20, 21, and they were all like, "Hey, do you want to come? Do you want to come with us? There's this sort of football bar or whatever around the corner that's open till like 1." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that sounds like fun." Because I didn't know anyone or know what to do. Because I had originally planned to meet up with Krendar, and that had fallen through, and I was kind of like twiddling my thumbs, pondering what to do for the evening. So I was like, "All right, yeah, cool. I'll come out with you guys." I went out. We went to the bar. The Grammys was on at the time. Also, who the basketball star who died in the helicopter crash? What was his name?
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, he had just passed as well, and this is also why it stuck in my head. And for the start of the night, I didn't really know what to say about a lot of the kids. They couldn't speak English properly, and when they could, it was like half broken and such. So I just started hanging out at the bar more. Besides which, at the age difference, I felt a little bit older. So I was just, every once in a while I'd be like, "Oh, cool. So, like, what are you over here in Canada for? Blah blah blah." They couldn't quite understand what I was planning to do over there. As hell, in hindsight, neither did I. And the thing was, I was up there at the bar, and at the far end were these two women talking to this much older black guy, and they were just laughing at his jokes. I was like, "Okay, cool." Just made a mental of it, got onto it. He left, and next minute I know the girls basically, as they walked by me to get to the bathroom, which was like on the far side of the bar, and the bar was getting pretty crowded at the time. They kind of like brushed up against me, were like, "Oh my god, sorry," and I was like, "Ah, no worries," and I said it just a little bit too high in the Irish accent. They fucking were on me like flies to honey. Oh my god. They were like, "Oh, are you Irish? Oh my god, I love Irish." And they're going back and forth. They're both Canadians, both having a girls' night out. They had rented a hotel room. They got some food, some drink. They were going out just to have having a few drinks. Next minute, no, they would start talking to themselves a lot, and one of them goes, we're just like around the corner. Do you want to come upstairs with me?" And part of me, I'm thinking, I'm gonna get mugged. I'm gonna get fucking mugged. This is it. But you know what? I think I could take these. Yeah, I think I could take.
That two women are like, "Come up to our hotel room." I don't think most dudes' first reaction is, "They're gonna rob me."
Yes! And you know what else? Let's be honest here. Traditionally, this is the start of a porno. Not so much in real life, this still happens. Especially look at the state of me, like the huge ass beard and all that stuff. I'm on the heavy side and bald. And I talk weird. So over here, something like this would never really happen. Over there, they took me back, and everything they said came true. And the bed was very, very, very soft. In fact, the softest hotel bed I've ever been on. And we did all stuff to each other until early in the morning, and yet we somehow still managed to get enough sleep. And then I got a tour. A friend of theirs showed up. In case anyone was wondering, the woman in the tour around the Eden Center in Canada is not one of those women, but she was one of their friends. Because I would not be doxing them like that. One of their friends showed up and was like, "Oh well, yeah," toured around the place. And it was a pretty great experience, and I can't fault. I'm actually really glad. That's why when afterwards Krendar was like, "Oh, sorry man, sorry I couldn't hang out," and stuff like that. You know what, Krendar, I'm okay. All is forgiven.
It reminds just you meeting up with them at the bar reminds me because there's this guy that has been coming into my bar for about a month and a half now. He comes in once a week, and every week he's with a different Tinder date. And
Oh.
every week we have to act like we don't know who he is. 'Cause he asks us the same thing with each fucking girl.
Fucking
And he's like,
player.
"Oh, do you know how to make a lemon drop shot? Oh, you
All he has to
don't?
say is that
It's
he
this."
just drinks here normally, and he likes to show.
Yeah,
That's all he'd have to say. He wouldn't have to be like,
right. But literally, we have to pretend we don't fucking know who he is and that we've never seen him there before. And one night, a date was going particularly awful, apparently. And on the receipt, he left he left a note that had like his phone number and said something about the Tinder date went awful. This is for the blonde. And the blonde is the other bartender that I was working with that night.
You
And
gotta
it's like,
respect the game, the hustle at least.
we've watched you bring 4 girls in at this point, and you're literally gonna leave your number for one of the bartenders. Like, don't shit where you eat. How
I
are you gonna
actually, I don't know. Does he have a rapport with her and at all? Is there a back and forth beyond, hey, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hello for the first time? Like, is there anything between the two?
No,
All right,
no.
well, there you go. Yeah, no.
Besides the fact she just started dating somebody else. Like,
Yeah.
she's just she's young and super friendly with everybody. And for some reason, dudes take I'm friendly to I want
As,
to bone you.
yeah.
Like we can't just be nice. Like
No,
it's our
you have
job. It
to.
is literally our job to talk to you and be nice to you and ask you how you're doing and pretend to be interested in what you're saying.
Hmm.
We are getting paid to do that. We don't just make your drinks and that's it. We're literally paid to be like your fucking therapists. So of course we're going to show interest in what you're saying and laugh at your stupid jokes and think you're great.
Now, that's not to say
It's
that
just so
that's
funny to ask us to act like we don't know who he
no.
is.
It's again, like, it's kind of stupid because all you'd have to do
I
is just be
want to
like, oh,
blow up
there's a.
his spot.
You
I
should.
do.
You
Want
should do it.
so badly to be like, hey, long time no see. This one. Like, I want to so fucking bad.
Extort him for a big tip, and then threaten.
Oh, I could. He might tell my boss.
Yeah.
One of my bosses wouldn't care, but the owner may frown upon me extorting.
Get the right one, and he probably wouldn't want to make a big deal about it anyway. So maybe you could reach a compromise. Ooh, no, forget the money. Say make this one work. Listen to her, respect her, take her out, visit her family, meet her family. You know, like go to church on Sunday with her. I like. I have to say though, I do respect to a degree a level of like back and forth between bar staff and like the punters. But the thing is, the only time I've ever pursued that myself is when they've come on to me, and like very obviously come on to me. Like remember a while ago you were saying like talking about at the end of a shift, you get yourself a little sippy sip.
What's up with margarita last night?
Yeah.
A strawberry margarita. I make delicious margaritas. So if you are ever in Connecticut and want to come to a cool bar, I will make you delicious drinks. Just don't be a creep. And I'm not going to say it out loud. So people can hit me on Twitter if you actually want to come to a cool bar.
She's not nudge nudge wink winking you. She wants you to
No,
no.
like I'll make you a fucking drink. You want a Manhattan?
Nice.
People like my old fashions. And I get a lot of compliments on my Cosmos, but my margaritas is what people like.
A while back, this is a good few years ago now. I was in a pub and it was getting pretty late in the evening. One person lined off, left after the other after the other. It was just me and the girl behind the bar, and I was getting up to go, and she wasn't even like talking to me at the time. She was looking at her phone. She just looked up and goes like, "Hey, do you want me to pour you a drink before you go?" And it was after last call, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So she just started talking to me, and she was interesting. She was a college student at the time, and all that stuff, and she kept pouring me drinks. And I was like, okay, okay. And get this, she didn't want what she didn't want was like to go out on a date or fuck around like that. She wanted me to pretend to be her boyfriend when her mother came around the next day. Yeah, and I did. And she slipped me a
So
20,
sweet.
and she gave me a bottle of anything strong behind the counter. So I walked out of there with. I never had. This was a good few years ago. I'd never had Jack before, so that's how I had Jack for the first time. Yeah, growing up, it wasn't quite as popular as some of the more local stuff. Nowadays, it's everywhere.
I have a
Um,
whole bunch of freaking um Scottish Highland fucking Scotch at my bar.
but
I think
like
it's
that's.
Scotch.
Oh, I remember you saying that. Yeah. Uh, I.
I have a
But
couple
like
Irish whiskeys, but I don't have a lot.
that's what I mean. Like though, like I read the room right. You know, like at least to a
Right.
degree. She wanted to talk to me about something. Another time, I asked. I plucked up the courage near the end of the night and asked another girl, do you want to go? Can I grab your number? Or would you like my number? And
Right.
yeah, she was my first girlfriend. So, like, again, like I can read the room right. But that
There's a
guy
couple
with the
people
whole
that I let stay, like after last call. One of them's like one of the owner's friends. A couple of them are like obviously coworkers if they're there drinking. I don't care if they're still there, because last call and closing up, like last night we were pretty slow, and I was able to do last call like 10:30 and shut the bar down. I still didn't leave until almost 2 a.m. because I got to clean everything. So it's not like I'm going anywhere, you know.
right.
We just do last call because we want to kick y'all out and drink ourselves.
Yeah, I noticed that in the States. First time I was drinking there, near the end of the night at a bar in New Jersey, the girl just came up and say, "Guys, I want to go home." She just told
Want
me
to go
that,
home.
and you know what? I was like, "All right, that's fair." We both of us were like, "That's fair," and
Yeah.
we left. Yeah, and that
If
was
it's
100%.
closing time, I see people are, almost done with their drinks. They got like a little bit left. I'll lock up the doors so that nobody else can come in, and
Mm,
I'll give them like an extra 15, 20 minutes to finish up their drink, even though that's usually what last call is supposed to be for. Um, but I'll let them sit for a minute and then I will turn up all the lights. I'm like, y'all don't need to go home, but you cannot stay here because
mm.
I want to go home. So please leave.
Well,
And most people think it's funny and then they
before
leave.
before we end up before we end the stream and we got too far off the on the tangent of the theme for tonight, I have actually here some things from Reddit of crazy
Ooh.
stories because not just it isn't just us that have like crazy first time stories. The whole world does.
Oh, yeah. It's just a theme, a
It's a
world theme of awkward sex for the first
right,
time.
especially if you're really young. It's just two
Mhm.
people stumbling in. You
And
know.
even sometimes when you're like older and you're even experienced, like
Oh, you
if
can fuck
you
up. You can create.
if you I feel like the more chemistry you have with the person and the more like attracted you are to that person, the less awkward it is.
Mm.
If
Oh,
that makes sense.
yeah, because even if something happens, like say, happened to me once or twice, the bed broke in the middle of it, and all we did was laugh. You know,
Right.
other people might be like so embarrassed, like, oh no, what that you
Right.
cheaped out on a
Some
bad
things like
bed, you know?
right. There's some things might just turn certain people completely off and ruin everything.
Right?
It just like there can still be awkward moments even when it's not your first time. So I think sex is
Absolutely.
just awkward.
But of course, then you've got
Awkward.
speaking on the topic, let's have a look. Obviously, I'm not going to turn on the not safe for work because there might be pictures, but we can read. The Lord has given us the ability to read, so we're going to read about smut. One time, I had sex with a guy
Yay!
who was a virgin. I wasn't experienced by any means. He was only the second guy I'd had sex with. Anyway, he puts it in and comes nearly
This
immediately
the
and
girl that
says,
you talked about?
No, because look, he comes nearly immediately and then say, oh, I wish that happened to me. I'd have been less embarrassed. It was just so warm. Yes, it's so warm, in case anyone doesn't
It's a
know.
warm thing.
Yeah, it's almost like you're not having sex with a corpse. Isn't it? Like, unless, of course, you are, in which case that's not your first time.
Wait, when they say it's just so warm, were they expecting it to be cold? What are you fucking where
Yeah.
you are experiencing slipping
It's a
your
part of a
member
human body.
into
You're
something
going
chilled?
inside a person.
Eh,
Like you're literally here. Get your thumb right in your mouth. There. Is this warm? Is this warm? It
sure.
feels warm to me right now. Like,
Silly boys.
um,
Silly, silly boys.
six. Let's see this one. 16-year-old. Only ever kissed a girl. Couple of handies. Current. We call them wanks. Current GF called and asked me if I'd done it. Immediately started sweating a lie. I sure have. Ended up freaking. No place to do it. Decided to call the older classmate Bruce. Hey man, Bruce. Hey man, needs somewhere to have sex. Sure man, have an extra bedroom. My parents are out. Was so ready for romance at this point. She comes over. I tell my parents we're going out for food. Go to Bruce's. He takes me to this shit room with a mattress only, no sheets, and a bunch of storage shit. Also smells like
Oh
mothballs
God.
or something, and it had to be like 120 degrees. But I push on. Oh, very romantic. Try
Very.
turning on the fan, doesn't work. Literally about to pass out, licking this girl's V, sweating profusely. No idea what part I put my dick in. What? No idea what part I put my dick in, or what fuck I'm doing to her
There are
V.
so many parts. There's just so many parts.
Dead says put it in me, so of course I obliged. Nervous, almost lost my boner, but said low middle chub going on. Trying minutes, maybe seconds later, I realize I'm probably gonna pass out. I fake my orgasm. Ooh. The reason why my partner was so shocked that my first time was terrible too, she said, "I thought you fake. I thought you actually like came." And I'm like, "No, guys can fake orgasms too. Like I was wearing a condom. You weren't gonna check. I just wanted it to
Right.
end." Like, I felt so mortified at the time. So I faked my orgasm. No way promised land would be reached. So I faked. What a loser. Right. No, not really. First time really wasn't really my first time. It was your first time. You did everything except for cum, I guess. That's my butthole. Well, that's probably a very traditional saying among a lot of people for the first time. I didn't cuddle with him afterwards. He wasn't happy about that. That's awkward. First real boyfriend and I was in his room completely naked, fooling around before we've rushed to little. What was the weirdest one you've ever heard of? If you could think of one, like a weird first time that like a friend or you heard from like an anecdote.
I don't know. I don't know if I know anyone who had like a abnormally awkward or weird first time experience. Besides me with a dude who wanted to put it in my belly button.
You're on
Right?
top of that. You're on top of that mountain.
I wish.
At least you both. Well, all right. Again, the whole 12-year-old thing. So let's bump the years up a little bit. But
Right. Let's
other than
pretend I was 16.
yeah, the point I'm trying to get at is like at least you had fun. You know.
Yeah,
The
that's
most I
true.
realized is that A, I'm a halfway decent dom, and B, I've also got a lot of stamina, I guess, as well. That's another one. If I bother to take better care of my body, Jesus fucking Christ, I'd be a goddamn jackhammer. But
Is when right. Okay. Um,
yeah,
I know this girl, and we were um camping.
God, you have a theme, don't you?
Yeah.
If Missy ever asks
Um,
you to go camping, you know you're in for a good. Oh, you're like, guys, I fucking did it.
it was like midnight. We had we were up in near Lake George in New York, and we had met up with these French Canadians. And this girl that I know had just like fallen head over heels for one of them, but she was a virgin, and we had gone over to like their campsite, and um let me mute this because I'm sorry, this keeps
What?
going crazy. I keep getting dinged from Discord
Oh,
going
okay.
off. So I'm just trying to mute that quick so that that stops distracting. So we were over at their campsite like midnight. She goes in with the dude. We'll call him Antoine. She goes in with Antoine, and like everyone knows what's going on. Like his buddies are trying to like peek through the window, and I'm drunk, sitting on a lawn chair by the campfire thing, and she's in there like the deed has been done, they're finishing up, they're coming out, and I was like, happy and proud for my friend and drunk, and I was like, woohoo, you did it. And I leaned a little too far over to the right, and I fell into fire.
Oh shit! I
I
was
burnt
gonna.
my hand all up,
Oh
and
god.
like had to end up like sneaking back over to our like campsite area and like cleaning myself off and not alarming anyone that I have like burns on my hands from
Fucking
falling
hell.
in a fire while she was losing her virginity in a camper to a French Canadian.
There's a smoking hot joke here somewhere, but I can't see it.
Somewhere.
Uh, I read this here. I'm sure someone in the chat's also been reading it. My first real boyfriend and I was in his room, completely naked, fooling around. Before this, we've rushed little flings in his car, but never had such a real deal. I, in all my young rebellious glory, was loving this new game. So we're laying side by side, and his hands snaking down, down, down. I'm shivering in anticipation. Reach ever so slightly, and I'm on another planet. When suddenly he turns his head, looks at me softly, thinking he wants a kiss. I look back at him. Before my lips can conquer their territory, he says, "You sound like macaroni and cheese." Which I was mortified. Needless to say, my virginity was kept intact for another year. The thing is, if she's that wet, you're doing a good job. So
Right.
what's the
Like
what's
it's not
the
a bad thing.
a
Most
weird?
people
He could have
aim for
just
that noise,
yeah. You don't
like
actually
that's
say it. You don't say, "Oh, you sound like wet macaroni and cheese." Okay, that sounds a
yeah.
little weird, but you could be like, "Oh
Or
God, you're
what
so
if they just
wet."
don't like macaroni and cheese? They're like grossed out by it. They're like used to it.
Oh God, next time a big family gathering and they have a huge pot of it, just go stirring. um. Oh, like the time he got laughed at for premature ejaculation. The thing is, if it's his first time, don't make fun of anyone for prematurely ejaculating. Like it's unless of course like he's well and truly established. Like if you're in a long term relationship and like he's coming super fast all the time, don't even then don't make fun of him. Be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, come on. Like at the very least, go down on her. Like at that point, you know.
There's
Uh,
so many. That's what I don't understand either. There are so many dudes in the world that expect and almost demand, that you go and give him a blowjob or suck on his balls or whatever, but they refuse to then go down on you in return.
I've
Like,
been with a woman who did not want me to go down on her for any reason. And I thought that was very strange. And she didn't even want me to play with my fingers. And I was like, really? Because I'll do it. It's not a big deal to me. Like, no, it was just something she did not want
and
to.
like, or maybe it's just some girls are like they've never actually had an orgasm because they can't handle it because it's just intense, and that's what they mean about like the little death, and like it some women it's painful and it's because of how intense it can get. I
Yeah,
don't know how to.
it's. Well, no, for
There's
guys,
I'm
it
sure
can.
dudes have like an equivalent to it. There's girls that will purposefully avoid orgasm because they don't want to feel that because
Well,
it's too intense.
that wasn't her problem unless she was
You know what I
massive
mean?
into faking it. And
Well, that's what I
like
mean. They get so good at faking, like you think it's going on. Like,
I honestly don't know how I don't know like why so many people are like freaked out. Unless of course you're like asexual, maybe you were sexually assaulted or something like that. Like some sort of
yeah, it probably has something to do with
impression.
trauma.
Yeah, but there are people out there who are like, especially women, they've kind of drank the conservative Kool-Aid of being like, a man doesn't do that. A lot of for example, a lot of Eastern European women I've found, they don't expect a guy at all to do that. They expect girls to do that to each other to impress a guy. It's a form of brainwashing, and it kind of sucks.
Right.
But also the whole thing about guys expecting blowjobs but won't return it. Like to expect anything from anyone in bed is kind of stupid. Like
Cringe.
oh god, I actually
I don't
had
expect
a
shit from him.
speaking of shit, I actually had somebody who wanted me to pee on them. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. That sounds pretty icky, especially because they didn't want to do it in the bath or the shower. They wanted to do it on the fucking bed. And we were all adults. They know how laundry works. Like, I sleep here. So do you. What the fuck? Like, I
Yeah.
don't.
Thankfully, no one has ever wanted me to pee on them. No.
There's tons of things that I'll be a virgin when I die. Like I don't think I'll ever have elbow sex. Has anyone ever want to do anyone ever want to do the armpit one where it's like your armpits kind of like squished a little bit and then they kind of go through, and like it's because you got big boobs, so you'd be perfectly designed
Yeah,
for that.
people usually want to fuck my boobs. That's the biggest request I usually get.
I think I was 26 when I lost that. that one's a little vaguer, but yeah,
They
she had
usually want to fuck
she had
boobs.
big old boobies, so yeah, I had to try that. She almost suffocated me with those. Everyone says, "Oh, it's a fun way of dying." At first, yeah, a little bit. Then you're still suffocating, so there's a gradient. Goes up and then it
My
goes
sisters
down
are
really
bigger
quick.
than mine. Like,
Holy
you think
shit!
my sisters are bigger, but my sister is also bigger. Like, yeah.
I
My boobs might be big, but like my waist and everything isn't. My sisters are very
I've been
large, but
I've been with
her waist is also kind of round.
I think I've either on par with yours or bigger. I think I've been with, but only like twice in my life. Um, which is some people would be like, "Oh wow, that's so great." Honestly, yeah, I guess, but I mean, like, I much prefer the person attached to them. So yeah, what are you gonna do?
Some
Because I've
people are just
also
so obsessed with
boob size,
boobs.
or ass, or
Hmm.
hair. I like eyes. I think eyes don't get enough recognition,
Mm.
like smoky eyes and shit. Because everyone's like, oh, what, like blowjob eyes? Yeah, but they can do other things too. Like, you ever see
Yeah.
someone eyeing you up across a room? That can be fucking hot. Um, I'm trying to think. Looking back on it, I gotta ask. Like looking back at it, would you do it? Would you lose your virginity the same way again? Or
No.
yeah, because the age thing.
Yeah. I definitely probably would
Yeah.
have waited a while and went with a different person.
Um, I
But
wouldn't have
I could say that
lied.
about a
That's about
lot
it.
of shit in my life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit I could say that about.
Yeah, that's true. I probably just wouldn't have lied. That's about
Again,
it.
I am not known for my incredible decision making skills or my choice in men.
Well, I've got terrible choice of men too. Well, it's because I don't choose them. Which
Yeah, I'm not known for picking the winners.
Um, well, if you play your cards right, you only have to pick the winner once. Um,
Hmm.
I gotta
Depends
say
on what she's
the
trying to win.
yeah, that's very true. Which not to get too well, I was gonna say not to get too personal. Yeah, it's Kink Think. I'm going to be was it I know somebody who's in a who's like in an open relationship. I've actually been offered a few times in open relationships, and I'm kind of okay with the whole thing. Honestly, I've come to realize that. Um, uh, so I'm not really that pressed on anything like sort of like I don't see a partner as someone you own, you know. So if they
You're
want to
not
go
supposed to. I think if
exactly,
people are looking at it like you own that, like that's kind of a red flag. You should probably look into that. You don't
I
own people.
yep. I I don't know. So going forward in my life, I'm kind of open to that. I'm open to being open, basically. So
Oh, so you're saying like you going forward, you would like to have open relationships.
I'm saying that if they're already in it or whatever, I wouldn't care. But also that I kind of regret not taking opportunities prior because looking back at it, I've never felt jealous over that. Just that they're being honest. I want someone to be
Right.
honest, basically. Um, I
Yeah,
think
if it's something that you think you can handle and um you think that it's not going to affect how you feel about the person,
no,
why the
I'm just
fuck not?
thinking that I'm just
Yeah.
thinking that like if I ever meet somebody, would I be too dull for them? Basically, that's the gist of it. Because usually I've met a lot of people. Like one of my exes was like the crazy one, the one who was great in bed. Like oh
Mm.
my god, I was like the most bland. I was
Crazy
like
ones usually are great.
I was Wonder Bread, and she was like a fucking. She was like a wedding cake in comparison. Like a bunch of
Oh
stuff
my.
going on. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm still on good terms with her. She's fine, but I'm trying to think how to wrap this up because you said you only wanted to do it until like an hour and a half in.
Yeah, I gotta get my kid from work.
So next month, hopefully, we're going to be talking about online dating, and
That'll be a fun topic.
yeah, especially like the dating apps or even the websites like connecting singles and shit like that.
Mm.
But I found that I think here this going on there we could definitely have a lot of fun with it and learn a lot of shit, but I'm gonna have to find out what that technical issue is with the thumbnail. That's gonna drive me crazy. And I also forgot that I transferred all this background over, so I kind of from my old computer to my new, so it wasn't that's what's wrong with the audio, so that shouldn't be a problem going forward.
Ah.
um but yeah, like I think I'm gonna open up. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open up on my Discord, link in the description down below, a new channel, and it will be Kink Think suggestions and topics. But also, if anyone just ever wants to tell a tale, yourself or others, as long again as you're not doxing anyone who.
Yeah, don't
Uh,
dox anyone. Change the names if you want to protect people. Even if it's a story about you and you'd rather tell it in the third person and change your name, completely cool. We don't.
even
We
even if you hate
absolutely want
even
to
if you hate
protect
the
people's
person,
privacy.
even if you hate
Right.
the person, right? They could be in like the worst partner in your life, but unless it's public
Right.
knowledge what you're talking about, don't.
Right. No. Even if it's public knowledge, I don't want to. I want to keep people's privacy. I want to respect that as much as we possibly can.
Hmm.
So,
And don't forget, we'll also be
don't.
talking about non-sex stuff too. Like, for example, relationships with family, relationships in the workplace, relationships.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're going to be talking about life and the emotions that follow it.
mhm. And it won't just be from our personal experience. So we're going to have guests on who will, for example, if I don't think either one of us really know how to do stuff about, say, trans relationships. Neither of us are trans, unless Missy, you want to say something to the class.
Everyone knows my kid's trans, but I'm
Indeed.
not gonna have him come and
No,
talk about
obviously
it.
not. And we don't need to. We don't need to. Like we got
Yeah.
plenty of we know plenty of trans people who probably are in the dating
Right.
scene and have insights. Interracial relationships, openly gay relationships, like asexuality as well. That they value their value as much as anything else. You know, like
Absolutely.
so it's going to be interesting going forward. But as you can tell, it's a little bit all over the place. This episode, there wasn't really a lot of time to get I got to start
My fault.
saving shit. It was a little your fault, but I've also got some problems as well. I could have researched some stuff to look at better. I barely just remembered to check Reddit. But yeah, we'll come at this a little harder in March. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Missy, what's in store for you anyway, for the rest of the day?
Today is my day off, so I got to take my oldest out driving because he has to take. He's doing one of his first driving lessons,
Oh,
so he needs to get some more practice in. And then it's a bunch of housework. But I do have my I'm starting my sleeve on Thursday
oh
for my
yeah.
tattoo. It was supposed to be starting tomorrow, but the dude had like a 10-hour tattoo over the weekend and he didn't get a chance to work on the design as much as he wanted to. So he was like, I don't want to rush it. So we pushed it to Thursday. So on Thursday, I get to start my sleeve, and I'm super excited.
Okay. Um, I have a still a little bit busy week this week. Tomorrow I'm not streaming because I have a date. Oh. I feel very proud and pretty about myself. Especially because it's actually the first day I've had since COVID started. So, yeah,
I
I've been
hope
out of
you
the
have a
loop.
great date tomorrow.
I hope so too. We've been hitting off really well, and it's crazy that we never actually met up prior, but beyond that, on Wednesday, on the topic of Kink Think, you might have heard Markiplier recently did a video called Smash or Pass with Pokemon. Well, I'm going to do the same for Wasted Wednesday. Smash or Pass Low Energy Edition. I've got some rules and regulations to follow, but besides that, it's going to be a fun, drunken time, whether or not I will have sex with fictitious monsters. Many of whom are designed to be cute rather than... Actually, none of them are designed to be fuckable, except maybe Jinx, because she's got boobs. But then... And I don't know. I'll cross that Rubicon when I have to. I'll cross that that hellscape when I have to. And on Friday we have Bearded Ramblings episode 70, where Kilo and Alkalite Naira is going to be showing up.
That's exciting.
Very. So yeah, I'll Missy, it has been a little bit hectic, but otherwise a good opening. Kind of like we stumbling in the dark for our first time, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And
The awkward first time.
damn right.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, we could do far worse. Could do far worse. Like I didn't fake any of my emotions on this one, so there you go.
There you go.
So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Don't forget, as always, to like, share, and subscribe. Check the links down below. And also, as for the next episode, well, sometime in March. So yeah, I'll update you guys when we can. All right, see ya. Bye.